Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Just thought we'd do a little afternoon update with regards of Celtic transfers, where we lie at the moment, and what Sean Maloney took media duties today, because let's face it, fucking Martin O'Neill's like, I can't be doing with this shite. Same question every day. It's like Groundhog Day. I'm too old for this nonsense. Sean, potential future manager, go out there and take the media conference. And I've got to say, Sean Maloney, the little cheeky chappy, could he be our very own cheeky chappy of the future? Could he be the manager? And all going well, you never know. You might have Sean Maloney up here rather than Martin O'Neill. We'll give Sean his due and just stick Sean up there. Leave Sean there. Sean on the shelf. No, we'll put Sean next to Martin, where he should be. But anyway, good afternoon. We haven't signed anyone as yet. Sean Maloney did say this. Let me just double check that we have all systems audio. And this is what Sean Maloney said just a few hours ago.
Your understanding the club are close to doing something on that right-hand side. I think Gemis, forgive my pronunciation, Martin suggested last night it wasn't a million miles away. Is that one you'd expect to happen?
I think there's a few, isn't there? I think there was a few names mentioned last night with Martin, but yeah, we're going to have to get pretty close. It's getting to that point in the window. But I feel that they are. Like, it's speaking with the board on a pretty regular basis, all of us staff, myself and Martin, it's we feel it's close, but it has to be. It's that sort of time of the month. So but in terms of the guys, I think Martin obviously said that you were reasonably close, but I think until there actually are players, it's tough. I think you have to respect the clubs that you're dealing with, yeah.
Sean.
Anyway, you've got to respect the clubs that you're dealing with. Straight out of the horse's mouth. And you've got to take Sean at his word. It was a good interview by Sean. I'm going to jump into the interview with Sean in a minute. But first of all, before we do that, I'm going to show you... I'm going to put things into context for this next part of the video. Where is it? I am going to put things into context with... This is a video. Just do this. This is a video from 12 years ago. Now, I'm an old school kind of guy, as you know. And I'll take Stuttgart. I'd take Stuttgart as well. We did take Stuttgart. I'm an old school kind of guy. And this was a video that I shot 12 years ago. Now, to put it into context, at this point, the Green Brigade were coming into the stadium. Police were grabbing anyone, and this is a true story, by the way. This isn't made up. It's not fucking fabricated bullshit that you get on social media. This is straight for the horse's mouth, this one. The police were arresting a male of Caucasian and ginger hair. And they arrested 4 individuals to try and find the one guy that they were after. Now, I'm an old school kind of guy, and it was a case of back in the day that one out, all out. So when the Green Brigade realised that they were, and this is, keep watching because this will come into the modern day. This was recorded 12 years ago at Celtic Park. 12 years ago, where the police were trying to identify someone coming into Celtic Park and arrest them. But they arrested the 4 wrong guys, and the guys that they arrested never even got charged. So the Green Brigade then called up a meeting, and I was actually in the stand. I sat just below the Green Brigade at that point, and I got the call that the Green Brigade were walking out. And it was a case of one out, all out. No disputing it. Do you know, if they're going to pick on people because they've got friggin' ginger hair, apologies for the camera. You've got to remember, this is a 12-year-old video. It's cameras weren't what they were, not in 4K in this day and age. So it did get to a point, and yes, I just fucking openly videoed the police trying to capture them, and then it does get to the point where the Green Brigade do have a conversation where, and then this is what happened. From when the groom started to enter the ground from 2 p.m, it was apparent that the police had an agenda and a list, which order began. Yes, move on with that. That was me in my younger, very days. And as you can see, there was plenty of police. And then there was a call from the capo at the time. I think he still is capo in general, but there is no volume on this video because at that time it wasn't my place to put out the media, and it wasn't my place to put out what was actually getting said. I wasn't a member of the group, but I was a member of that part of the ground. So it was decided to leave the ground because Celtic fans were getting picked on. And everyone agreed. Everyone did agree. Keep watching because it will come, the perspective will come. So as everyone decided to leave the ground before kick-off, remember this was just around about 2:30 before a game, Celtic fans decided, so the group goes to the front of Celtic Park, and this is what greets them. This is 12 years ago. And I'm sorry for the bad camera, it's fucking walking along with a Nokia 3310 or something. But there was mounted various horses and the Celtic fans, and they were met with an entourage of lots of coppers. And this is what they were met with 12 years ago. Small group of lads. And this isn't young kids. At this point, the group was a lot older than I reckon it is now. I reckon the group is a lot younger than it was back then. This was a lot of guys that were definitely a lot older. And it was when the group was in the little section up the top of 111. But you can see what they were met with. And this video is out. The Green Brigade, February 16th, 2013, walkout Celtic Park. That's the title of the video up there. And that is on this channel. Now, you're saying, why the fuck are we watching this? We don't care about the Green Brigade. Well, the Green Brigade today have... there we go. We'll get this on full screen. The Green Brigade today have put out a statement talking about the fact that, you know, it has been a long time since the fans have not been at Celtic Park. Just get rid of this bit. And we'll just drag this down here, make it a little bit bigger, and then pull it over there. And I'll let you see the first bit of the statement. The Green Brigade update to supporters 4 hours ago. Banned since the 7-Eleven. Why they got 7-Eleven in American style? But they've not. 7-Eleven 2025. 7th of November 2025. 19 matches. Internal attempts to resolve thwarted. Nicholson and Hargreaves relationship. Hargreaves ultimatum. And this is what the Green Brigade say. Last night in the Europa League tie at Celtic Park marked the 19th consecutive match from which the Green Brigade has been banned. Will they get reimbursed? Will they get reimbursed for not being allowed to go? It's half a season, really. The ban has been in place since the 7th of November 2025. Throughout the suspension, supporters, fan groups have repeatedly asked for clarity on the status of the ban and when it may end. Unfortunately, there is no end in sight. The ban stems from an alleged incident at home match against Falkirk on the 29th of October 2025, following allegations made by Celtic FC. 5 supporters were scapegoated, charged, and issued with court orders banning them from Celtic Park. Not content with dawn raids, these fans, for alleged breach of peace, they must also sign in at police stations in Glasgow during every match. A tactic designed to cause as much frustration and an inconvenience as possible. We again categorically reject these accusations levelled at questions both the accuracy and the motives behind them. I don't know why. The group, the Green Brigade group, used to have a lawyer. And I know this personally. The Green Brigade group used to have a lawyer in Glasgow that did do all the work for the group. Years and years away from any knowledge now, so I don't know what the current situation would be. Despite this, Celtic FC have chosen to prolong the collective punishment of a further 245 supporters. We see no justification beyond this, despite an attempt to suppress dissent. The club has sought to strengthen its position by citing further vague, unsubstantiated claims of threats and intimidation allegations, which we also reject. This goes back to the AGM. I didn't agree with what happened at the AGM. I will put that out there publicly. I didn't agree with the mayhem that was caused by one person in particular, and then the walkout and then walk back in. I didn't agree with that at all. If you're going to walk out from an AGM, you don't fucking sneak back in 10 minutes later. But they did. They decided to do that. In recent weeks, efforts have been made by individuals within Celtic FC and influential supporters to end this. But who are these influential supporters? That's what I want to know. To end this ban and restore unity and positive support in the stands. All parties recognise the seriousness of our league position and the crucial role Celtic supporters can play in reversing our fortunes. The board will say that, look, Maloney was doing a good job. I am going to play during this. I am going to play devil's advocate. The channel does have a lot of data and videos from years ago that substantiate the fact that the Green Brigade have been picked out as a fan base, as a section of supporters over the years. That's well documented on this channel. You just need to go click on old and go way back, and you'll see that on this channel. There's no disputing that. But when it comes to some parts of the recent stuff, it's a bit cloudy in recent weeks. But anyway, the efforts have been blocked by 2 individuals. Michael Nicholson and Head of Safety and Security Operation Mark Hargreaves. Now, Mark Hargreaves is an ex-copper, just like his predecessor, who was an ex-copper. And at the time of the video that was taken here on the 16th of February 2013 on this channel, it was bang out of order, if you ask me. And there is no reason that one set of fans should be banned without any reason. And Celtic will cite this and that, and they'll cite section this in your season ticket and all this bullshit. But at the end of the day, this is a wake-up warning to every single supporter out there that you're just a customer. Simple as that. You are just a customer. And whilst if they can do this to their own, if they can have police officers inside the ground. Now, I've had it at Celtic Park. Around that time, 12, 13 years ago, there were stewards who managed to find out my name, my full name, and even though I didn't even have my name on any social media connected to Celtic, but all the stewards knew my name. That came from Celtic. Do you know? It is what it is. Getting back to the North Club Celtic, and they do go on to say Nicholson and Hargreaves share a personal relationship dating back to their school years, raising a serious concerns over conflicts of interest in Hargreaves' appointment. Supporters can recall Bernard Higgins, just who I was talking about. He was another nasty piece of work. I was going to swear, but I've been told not to. He was a nasty piece of work during those years that I was talking about. Instead of immediately finding a replacement, Nicholson delayed the process until a close associate retired from a senior role within Police Scotland. This type of old boys culture has plagued Celtic for decades. Sorry, I've had a few pints. Since his arrival, Hargreaves has shown little of no interest in meaningful engagement with supporters and has fostered a toxic security culture at Celtic Park. This has resulted in multiple high-profile incidents where fans have been subjected to heavy-handed, unjust and inflammatory treatment. Last week, over 3,000 Celtic supporters travelled to Italy, a country where fans are repeatedly faced with severe access and issues at stadiums. Unsurprisingly, Hargreaves was entirely absent from the supporter-faced operations and instead choose to spend time with the directors at the club's expense. This man is head of security. I know that John Paul Taylor, the fans liaison officer, when we go to away games, John Paul Taylor puts out information about the fans. He is at the stadium. He is at the entrance where Celtic fans would go. I've seen him, and fans will confirm this. I mean, you see him at almost every away game in Europe. He's at the entrance of the stadium. The head of security for Celtic and Celtic fans should be in that position also. They're there for Celtic's safety, but he has no interest in Celtic supporters' safety. But anyway, it could be next week, it could be next season. One certainty is that the Green Brigade will return to Celtic Park and will be there as long and after both Nicholson and Hargreaves are discarded as forgettable footnotes in the history of Celtic Football Club. It's unbelievable to think that so many fans, the missus, mate. Who's telling you not to swear? The missus and my mother. My mother actually watches the videos. Yeah, she sent me screenshots last night, and I know she watches. She tells me she watches. And she's, son, you need to stop that swearing sometimes. It's a little bit too much for us oldings. But anyway, let's get on to some football news. We'll wait and see what happens with the Green Brigade. A lot of people there's conflicting reports saying that the atmosphere last night was fantastic. The atmosphere was absolutely rank rotten. No way. Sorry, I've just had a message come through from someone. Jesus. Yeah, there is some 144. 144. Where's section 144 again? Nah. Well, we'll wait and see. Anyway, let's get on to some Celtic transfer news because let's talk about Sean Maloney and the Sean Maloney interview first of all. There's a few takeaways. I did watch Sean Maloney interview, and I wrote down some notes as you do. He knew that he was being listened to by the media, the fans, the supporters, closely. I think Martin O'Neill was protecting relationships inside the club, saying that he's obviously speaking to the board on a regular basis, and he said that Martin O'Neill underplays his own efforts, because if there's anyone in the building who watches more players than Martin, it would be Martin. Martin O'Neill has no plans to let Sebastian Tenecti leave the later stages of the January window, despite a reported interest in his services from Hamburg for 11.5 million. Martin, just sell him. Sell him. Sell him, please. Go on, mate, just do it. Sell him. He's really happy. Sean Maloney said that they're really happy with the two guys that have come in so far, and Julian and Thomas. There's the type of players and profiles that we don't have in the team, and that's really specific to the ones that we want to try and bring in. Now, this is where it got interesting for Sean Maloney. And he spoke about Europe, and he spoke about, this goes way back to when we were here the first time, and we spoke about the possibility. Even back then, when Martin O'Neill came in as interim manager, Martin O'Neill spoke about the importance of European football for Celtic, and he felt that the Feyenoord game was a turning point, said Sean Maloney. He says, we felt that it was a turning point. He says, Bologna, he says, we nearly exposed them again in the last 20 minutes. He said, it changed. If we had managed to keep everyone on the pitch, forget about the game where Wilfred Nancy was in charge. Even Martin O'Neill said that the Michelin game was going to be maybe a bridge too far when it comes to Europe. The squad, he has confidence that the fragile squad that they took over in early November, late October, the 27th of October, the man Brendan Rodgers left, the fragile squad that they took over then, he feels now that they have a belief. Sean has a belief when it comes to Europe. Of course he does. We all have a belief when it comes to you. Come on, mate. Come on, we all do. We all have a belief when it comes to Europe. And I think that Stuttgart, a lot of people are saying that just won't happen. But when it comes to recruitment, the players that we get in the next couple of days, now there's a lot of rumours going around this evening that Celtic will try and get 3 players in within the next 3 days. There is one player that is in talks, who it's further down the line than what's ever been before. But we'll just wait and see. But the belief is that Celtic will get 3 players in. Sean Maloney said that the recruitment, he said, Martin O'Neill, obviously Martin O'Neill stood a couple of weeks ago and said, listen, if it goes bad, I'm blaming Sean and Fozzie. If it goes good, I'm taking all the credit. Martin O'Neill's exact words. Sean Maloney said, look, we're not getting as big a say as what Martin says. What Martin tells you guys, he's a very, very intelligent old man, and maybe spinning you a yarn or two. It's definitely Martin O'Neill who has the final say on players. It's the recruitment team and not me that are generally looking at players. If recruitment process works, Martin O'Neill will take full credit for it. There's one thing that came across, that the recruitment process has changed at Celtic. I think under Wilfred Nancy, it would have been a case of getting 6 or 7 players in. And listen, we all said, I thought that Celtic needed 6 or 7 players in this window to make the squad better. But Martin O'Neill doesn't want to do that. Martin O'Neill doesn't want to do it for 2 reasons. Martin O'Neill doesn't want to do it to the next manager. He wants to give the manager as clean a slate as he can. Martin O'Neill knows that there will be players that will exit Celtic in the next summer window. But he doesn't want to bring players in on a long-term contract or a big majority of players that the next manager may not fancy. Hence the reason that Sean Maloney's at the club. all fingers and all betting odds should be placed on Roberto Martinez as the next Celtic manager. We're looking at a gift horse in the mouth here. We are looking at a gift horse in the mouth. Anyway, Sean Maloney talking about the fact that the manager change completely changed the structure of the recruitment view. Previous recruitment planning has basically become obsolete at the club. The planning that was there under Brendan Rodgers, nil and void. The recruitment planning that was there in the 33-day tenure of Wilfred Nancy, obsolete. This window was always going to be reactive, not strategic. Not strategic at all. This window was meant to be strategic on making sure that we laid the foundations for the attack on Europe in the summer. The league this year, the attack on Europe, getting the team ready and steady, but that will not work. The board pressure, reading between the lines, the work's been done. There's been no lack of effort from the board, according to Sean Maloney, and the board are ready to get the deals done. But it's typical transfer and football talk. If it doesn't happen, it's because we didn't. It's not because we didn't try. When you finish school and your grades are D, E, you're deemed as a failure. Michael Nicholson, his grades at Celtic are D and E. And the Celtic fans have definitely had enough. There's your D and E. We have definitely had enough of Michael Nicholson and his old mates from school. I'll get you a job as head of security and we'll be banished, these left-wing numpties from Celtic Park. There's one thing that Sean Maloney did to do when he was asked about specific players. He avoided names. He avoids trying to confirm that we're in later stages of talks, because he said that, well, you heard at the beginning of the video, that ultimately you've got to give respect to the teams that we're doing transfer negotiations with. And Sean Maloney was very guarded, and it was a very professional. I've got to say, I've saw over the years John Kennedy do these types of interviews, and John Kennedy had no charisma at all. He had all the experience of working for years with Brendan Rodgers and Neil Lennon and stuff, and Ronnie Dyler. He just, anytime that he was asked to come into the press conferences, there is no way he got anywhere near the level of being competent. And that's where it came. Sean Maloney is a competent number 2. He's one that will not give the game away, but give you enough to get by. I think that we're in good hands with Sean Maloney. I do think we're in good hands with Sean Maloney. Anyway, Sean Maloney also went on to say that the time is running out. We need something to happen. There's anxiety behind the scenes, but we'll get it done, says Sean. We're really hoping. Talking about team selection, he admitted that the squad depth is thin. He accepted that rotation is risky. Injuries would hurt us badly. And speaking about Martin O'Neill, talking about the type of football, he said, we don't want to overcomplicate football. We're brutally clear with the players. We focus on the fundamentals. Win first, refine later. Win ugly. Just win the fucking game. It's as simple as that. My mother will be moaning. That text will come through the new. But anyway, he suggested that the previous step-ups may have been too complex with a different manager. Players have been overloaded with instructions. I said this before. I said this under Brendan Rodgers. I think that Brendan Rodgers took the rawness out of players. There was an interview with, I think it might have been Roy Keane. And Roy Keane talking about the modern day manager and how the modern day manager wants you to play a position. And he wants you to play that position and just be confined to just doing that job. Football players in general aren't that bright. They just want to play football. And Martin O'Neill knows that. And Sean Maloney knows that. And he says that making it brutally clear and not complicating football matters. You've got one objective. Get the ball, beat your opposition, go forward, score a goal. Simple. It really is that simple. But Sean Maloney felt that there was managers in the past that maybe brought Celtic players to a bit of confusion. He did say that he acknowledged the frustration of the situation at Celtic. He avoided dismissing fans outright, and but he didn't expect panic buys. He didn't expect volumes, high numbers to come in this window, and he just thinks that Celtic fans really need to adjust to the reality of what's happening right now at Celtic, and that yes, maybe 6-7 weeks ago, 6 or 7 players coming in would have been a good thing, but then in 6 or 7 weeks, the Celtic fans would be complaining that these players are total shite. So we move on from that. Talking about the game this weekend, Falkirk. He doesn't underestimate Falkirk. He acknowledges that he praises their recruitment, their work ethic. There's no arrogance about Falkirk. We shouldn't be battering these teams as a mindset. I mean, a lot of Celtic fans were like, it's Falkirk, let's go out and beat them 5 or 6-0. Sean Maloney said, it doesn't always work like that in football. You know, Sean Maloney's been in the game a long time, and he remembers European nights against a team that we're about to come up with, and he knows that sometimes it is not as easy as what it comes across. But at the same time, he was not selling a dream, Sean Maloney, today. He was not trying to bullshit the fans in the situation. He was definitely, you could see that he's just here to steady the ship. And he thinks that Martin O'Neill's been doing a great job of deflecting exactly how much he knows and how much he's prepared to tell the press. When it comes to transfers, there is obviously a little bit of noise about the fact that Celtic are in talks with a few players, and they're expecting to get a few players in. But I want to listen to this one first of all, because fair play to... And on a personal note, I'm really chuffed for this young guy. And I know that Celtic fans would have loved to get Kieran Bowie in. But he left Edinburgh Airport this morning to undergo his medical at Verona ahead of a 6 million move to the Sierra. He's going to Italy, and fair play to him. You know, and this is what he said to
Kieran, I moved to Italy on the cards. Just how big is this for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've had 18 months at Hibs now, and I've done extremely well there, and they've done well for me, so I think for all parties it's good. And yeah, I mean, obviously Italy it appeals now. Obviously there's a lot of people from Scotland that have went there and done well, and yeah, I mean, it's obviously opens up a lot of opportunities for myself and my family and stuff like that, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of Scots in Italy just now. Obviously there's the World Cup coming as well. How much was that factors for you?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously it's a top league, isn't it, and everyone wants to do as best they can, and yeah, I mean, obviously World Cup coming up, I've spoke about that a lot over the last couple of months, and that's the idea.
And just finally, leaving Hibernian, we remember that great Partizan Belgrade goal, what turned out to be the winner in the Edinburgh Derby as well. Do you leave with good memories?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's obviously, there's a few bad ones as well, obviously, in there, but yeah, I think they're the ones that fans remember, all the good ones that you've helped them create. And yeah, I mean, obviously, I've had a good 18 months here, obviously, not played as many games as I would have wanted to, but I mean, obviously, I've helped the club and they've helped me.
Anyway, he's 18 months at Hibs and he was sold for £6 million. Young guy for Kirkcaldy. And Celtic are absolutely terrible at picking up youth players. It's crazy. Young guy started off at Rafe Rovers and £6 million sold to Italian football. And I've got to say, Celtic definitely missed out on that one. Let me just see when it comes to transfer updates. I think we'll leave the speculation, because there's obviously lots of speculation out there, but we'll leave it until we get something that someone is on their way in for a medical. It is Friday night. I hope you all enjoy your Friday night. There's no more football this month until Sunday, which is the 1st of February. We'll be live first thing tomorrow morning. Hopefully we might have a little bit of clear indication that there is someone in Scotland for a medical so that they are ready. Doesn't look like we're going to have anyone in for the game on Sunday because it would have had to been signed today. And it's got to be said, Celtic love leaving it late. That's for sure. Let's jump into some of the comments before we go this evening. Let's just get rid of that screen and this one bigger. The Green Brigade has been part of the club since 2006, and the disrespect they're getting is from this board. This Annette board is disgusting. Yes, they have been part of the club since 2006. 20 years. 20 years. I can remember when it was 15 years. We are running the club like an amateur club. This board has no ambition. Seen a better atmosphere at a funeral compared to last night, says Haggis, Neeks and Tati. So Hargreaves and Nicholson had a piss up in Italy, by the looks of it. Nicholson in that video, yes, they pretty much did. Don't see the media reporting Rangers being the worst team in Europe, but I don't care about them. Got to jump through. Maloney in the future will be a great manager for us. Shin Yamada playing tonight for the team already. That's an interesting one. And how many days left until the transfer window? The transfer window closes on Monday night. So it's going to be a long one. So when you finish work, get a takeaway, get YouTube on, settle down, and we'll be just making sure that we're live the whole night of the transfer window, and we'll even try and get some tumbleweed going along the screen, and I'm not kidding. We'll try and get some tumbleweed going along the screen until Celtic do sign a player. Let me jump through the end. There's a super chat came in from Danny Cassie. Thank you so much for that, Danny. Just see Martinez and Maloney would be a statement. I have said for a number of months, when Sean Maloney came in, that job was way above his pay grade. If I'm a betting man, I'm sticking my money on Martinez being the next Celtic manager. Anyway, that is me done and dusted for the night. Might go out for a little Vino Tinto. Anyway, on that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.